Hi, I'm Tom Cosentino with the Garden State Wine Growers Association. Today we're in beautiful Hunterdon County, New Jersey, in the town of Ringoes for another edition of the At the Vineyard show as we visit Old York Cellars. You can find Old York Cellars wine at Wegmans throughout the state, and today we're going to visit with owner David Wolin and winemaker Scott Gares as we go behind the scenes at the vineyard at Old York Cellars. Welcome to another edition of At the Vineyard. Today my guests are David Wolin, the owner, and Scott Gares, the winemaker here at Old York Cellars. Welcome to the At the Vineyard show.
Thank you very much.
David,
for coming.
Oh, good to be here. But David, tell me, how does a Harvard Law graduate, an attorney, wind up owning one of the most beautiful wineries in the state of New Jersey?
I've been fortunate throughout my career to be able to visit some of the nicest wine regions in the world. And I thought to myself for the longest time, it would be great to live on a vineyard. And it was a little too far to commute to Burgundy or Mendoza or Napa. And finally found a place that would replicate many of those places right here in New Jersey. And took a shot at buying a vineyard that had gone under and started resurrected as a new winery.
And Scott, you've been making wine here from its inception. These are some of the first vines planted after the Farm Winery Act of 1981 that produced wine, and you've been the winemaker since.
Yeah, a lot of them were planted in 1978, and they've been going ever since.
Now, looking at Hunterdon County, we're in a different region of the state, part of the At the Vineyard show. Our goal is to really showcase the wineries in New Jersey and the different regions. Tell us a little bit about, what this region brings as far as a wine region in the state. I'll give it to both of you to lead off.
Well, I'll let Scott in a minute speak to the farming aspect of this county. He has a lot more history than I do in it. But you have this beautiful farmlands in Hunterdon County, but it's also just about an hour from New York City and about 45 minutes from Philadelphia. So it's very accessible to people in the whole tri-state area, which was something from a business point of view I thought was
Absolutely.
great. And but it's really hard to find this much beauty in farmland among so many people.
And Scott, what about the soil conditions here?
The soil conditions are good for us. We got a lot of clay, a lot of shale in the soil, so we don't really have to worry about irrigation here. We hold a lot of moisture into it, so as far as fertilizing and stuff, we don't have to over-fertilize because the ground will actually hold the nutrients in it. So it grows very well here on the East Coast. We have a lot of French vinifera's, French American hybrids, vinifera's. We do both Saval, Marshall Foch, Lando Noir, and we do our Cabernet, Chardonnay, and they grow right next to each other.
You also do a French hybrid here that no one else in the state grows.
Yeah, the Colabel. Colabel does very well for us. It adds great color. It's one of the ones that we use actually in our Wood Exit series.
Now, I'm going to talk to you, David, a little bit about the Wood Exit in a moment, but what I wanted to ask is, you mentioned the fact that this is so well positioned from a geographic location as far as drawing a population to your winery, but you also make it conducive to not only producing great wines, but some of the attractions you have here and the opportunities you offer to consumers. We're out here on your veranda, the deck that overlooks the vineyard and the Sauerland Mountains, but you also have the Vista Room, where you have local artists come in and do displays, and you have events in your tank room. Always specialty tastings and that nature.
Yes, from the time we opened up, the idea was, how do we attract people to come not just for the wine, but to come out to the vineyard multiple times throughout the year? And I think we've been very successful doing that. So we do have reserved tastings of wine, cheese, and chocolate in our tank room, where Scott is making the wines, and you can actually have these tastings right in front of our bottling line. We do host some private events in our Vista Room, one of the few places where you can have an event and pretty much just reach over the deck and touch the vines. In addition, we will have music and comedy, all in an effort to sell our wines, but just bring the people together. And we're finding is that the local community is coming out time and time again. We're very fortunate to that, but we are making this place much more accessible and giving people many reasons to come out. And a lot of people just come out on the weekends to sit on our new terrace and just hang out for the whole day.
Just be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always tell people to come out all 4 seasons. You got the springtime when the buds are just starting to come out. You got the summertime when the grapes are starting to turn and get some sugar into them. They start to go through veraison. And then the fall time, you got the beautiful view towards Hopewell, where all the leaves are changing on the mountains, and it just looks beautiful. Tasting room is right in the middle of the vineyard.
Right, and now for you as the winemaker, those 4 seasons bring a different challenge each season.
Yeah, in Mother Nature, you can't fight with her.
Now, David, let's talk a little bit about, you launched What Exit Wines after Hurricane Sandy, and the whole purpose behind it.
Yeah, well, we were looking to start up a second label, something that was a little more fun, a little more playful, and something which basically showed our Jersey heritage. And it was as we were launching the wine, we had Hurricane Sandy, and we decided at the time to turn the wine into our charitable wine. So we contribute $1 for every bottle of our What Exit Wine, whether it's in the Exit Sign series or the postcard series, to a New Jersey charity. For the first couple of years, we contributed just to Hurricane Sandy relief, but now we've expanded that to 5 or 6 different charities. And not only do we just contribute, but we also have those charities come out here for a lot of our events, so they can meet the people and really help the charities. So we think that's very important to.
And the public gets to pick the label they want, their exit on the garden state.
Yes. These can be customized.
Destination.
All the exit signs can be customized with whatever town, county, or street. You put your name on there. But it's really a fun way to buy wine. Let's put it that way. And the wines are actually very good. We came it out as a novelty label, and the wines are just fantastic.
Well, it's an extension of the
right.
wines that Scott's making, the vinifera that you're growing here and bottling. And we have a Chardonnay here and a Cabernet Sauvignon, and you mentioned earlier the different varietals that you have and the French hybrids that you make. What's the challenge for you as a winemaker to decide how to expand on a different varietal or cut back or launch something new or try something new?
Trying something new, we're always trying to do different bench trials and trying to come up with different ways that we can make wine and stuff. And going to a lot of the seminars and a lot of the classes that not only New Jersey puts on, but the tri-state. New York does one, Pennsylvania does one, and you're always in different seminars with a lot of people from all the like Cornell and UC Davis and learning from all the different professors. And
one thing I have to add with Scott coming up with his different wines is, as I tell everyone, making wine is an art and a science. And Scott has this sort of sense and nose and taste that will just come up with these wonderful wines. And his style is more of a fruit-forward, very approachable, which is becoming very, very popular.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that your consumer now is becoming, as they return, you have return customers and also others that are coming from out of the region, do you find that they're more educated about New Jersey wine now? They're more willing to try, what you have on the tasting menu?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case now. When I first started looking for a vineyard 10 years, I didn't know there were wineries in New Jersey, to be perfectly honest. By accident, I just found a couple over the internet a little more than a decade ago. But now we're finding people who go from winery to winery, and they're actually proud to say they filled the passport and they've been to every winery. And we have customers who will go to wine, particularly for us in the northern region. It's easy for them to get to. We have about 10 or 11 up here in the northern part of the state. But people are learning that we make good wines in New Jersey. And in fact, we and many of the other wineries, not just make good wines, but we make good wines that are sort of approachable for everybody. So if you like a sweeter wine, we make a good sweeter wine, but Scott also makes some fantastic dry wines, and we're more known for our dry reds.
Your wines have medaled in competitions all over the country.
Yeah, and all over the country and all over the world, actually, because we compete against, the French wines, we compete against the Italian wines, Australian wines, and we come out with gold medals against them, and it's fantastic.
What about the consumer? I think part of the beauty here, I remember bringing a reporter to this winery, and they couldn't believe the backdrop. And I said, why don't you tweet out where you are and have people guess? I said, because they would probably never guess that you're in New Jersey. But the same token, each one of our wine regions has a different personality to it, a different look. And I think that's part of what makes this state it's making it an emerging wine state, but also, a great opportunity for people to see the entire state of New Jersey.
Yeah, and you're going to get different characteristics from North Jersey to South Jersey. You're going to get all different flavors and all different profiles because of the soil conditions that is so vast against New Jersey.
Do you ever, in speaking to your brethren in the winemaking industry here in the state, do you talk to the guys down south or the guys out west, and to see which challenge they're making, and what you can do together, or learn from each other on things that are working?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we can learn from is just the conditions, weather conditions. Right now this is August. Our biggest condition right now is rain. Normally in August the grass is brown and everything is dry.
Scorched.
Right now, we're getting rain every 4 or 5 days. So that's our biggest challenge in New Jersey, is just the humidity and the stuff. So it's learning what everybody else is doing to learn from it.
And David, as the owner, what would you want someone watching this program to know about Old York? One carryover of what they can expect to find here.
Well, with all due respect to Scott, everyone loves the wine here, but I think the most important thing about Old York Cellars are the people. And even though our wines get praised, but when I'm talking to customers, most thing I hear of how friendly and helpful our staff is here, and I think we go to great pains to make the winery experience very friendly. I know in the past I've gone to wineries around the world, and it could be an intimidating experience, but here we try to get away from that. Every customer, whatever their experience with wine is, and whether they're a dry wine drinker or a sweet wine drinker, or they really have no real experience with wine, we help to educate them in a very friendly, non-judgmental way. If someone comes in and says, I love sweet wines, we have a few wines for you, and we don't judge. We don't snub our nose at anyone saying, well, we don't do that type of wines here. And I think people walk away from that experience very positively and come back time and time again. And I hear that just from our customers from day-to-day basis, and also from our Vineyard Club members, which we started about 1.5 years ago. We now have about 900 members, and these folks are coming back. It really is part of the family, which is great.
Right. Well, David, I want to wish you continued success here, and thanks for having us and hosting us. Scott, continued success making your award-winning wines here at Old York Cellars. And I want to thank you, the audience, for joining us on another edition of That the Vineyard. And remember, become a New Jersey wine ambassador. If you love New Jersey wine, serve it at home, bring it to a friend's house for a barbecue, and we'll meet you at the Vineyard.